If you're running a construction business, you're probably losing 5 to 6 hours every week just on paperwork after the job's done. Someone's got to take what happened on site, get it into your system so that you can draft an invoice. And most business owners don't even know that this can be fixed. They just think that's how it is. Between us, we've spent 7 years in the construction industry, and I myself have recently moved into an AI internal specialist position with my current employer. So I've seen firsthand where time gets wasted. So when this crane company came to us with this exact problem, we knew that we could fix it. We built an invoice system for them that took their admin for this one specific task from 5 hours down to 50 minutes. That's about 18 hours a month saved. At $50 an hour, that's over $10,800 a year. So whether you're a business owner who wants this for your own company, or you're someone who's looking to build this for other businesses, in this video, we're going to show you exactly how we did it. We'll show you how AI reads the dockets, how it flags anything it's not sure about, how we set up the pricing so it calculates quotes automatically, and why this is the first step and not the final answer. If you're new here, we're Dan and Nath, and on this channel, we share real projects from real clients, showing you what AI can actually do for service and construction businesses. Let's get into it. All right, so let me show you what this first looked like before we fixed it. Here's a typical day docket from one of their crane crews. At the end of every shift, the operator fills this out. Job number, who the customer was, what crane they used, how many hours, any extras like traffic management or counterweights, and any notes. They scan the docket, send it through to admin, and then someone's got to sit down and work through these to create the invoices. Now here's how it works. Sometimes it's just a one-off job, one docket, one invoice. Pretty straightforward. But a lot of the time, you've got ongoing projects where multiple dockets need to be combined into a single invoice. So admin has to go ahead and pull all those dockets together for that job, make sure nothing's missing, check what the rates are for each crane, work out the hours and the minimums, add travel time, factor in GST, and then create the invoice in Xero. For this company, they were doing about 10 invoices a week. Each one took about 30 minutes. So that's 5 hours a week of someone just piecing together information and typing it into the system. And it wasn't just time, it was the mistakes as well. Either wrong rates or forgetting to include one of the dockets for their job. And every mistake meant phone calls, fixing it up, and dealing with annoyed clients. And honestly, the worst part about all of this is that everyone just thought that that's how it had to be. That's construction, that's how it's always been. Hey guys, quick one. If you're a business owner who's interested in what AI automation can do for your business, you can get in touch with us at TwinStream AI with one of the links down in the description. We'll take you through the entire implementation process, starting with identifying the right solutions, but all the way through to building the systems and providing the ongoing support to keep everything running smoothly. Now, I'm the internal AI specialist at a construction company here in Australia, so it's fair to say that I know exactly where AI can fit into your operations. Trust me, you're in good hands. Now, if you're here to learn how to build it for yourself, or you just want to build it for other businesses, stick around. Let's get into it. So here's what we built. The system has 5 main steps. A docket photo gets uploaded to a Google Drive folder. The AI reads it and pulls out all the important details. Job number, customer, crane type, hours, all of it. But here's one of the best parts. It actually tells us how confident it is about each piece of information. If it's not sure about something, it sends it to a human for manual review. If it's confident, it keeps going. It looks up the rates in the database, works out the total with all the extras and GST, and spits out a file that can be dropped straight into Xero. Now look, the point here, it's not to replace the admin team. It's about taking that 30 minutes of pulling all that information and getting it all together and turning it into just 5 minutes of reviewing and approving the invoice. So the key takeaway is that the AI does the heavy lifting and the person's just there just to get that final confirmation. All right, so for those that are maybe curious about how I've actually gone about building this behind the scenes, I'm gonna show you exactly how I built it on a platform called N8N. So N8N is one of the biggest tools when it comes to AI automation in helping different apps talk to each other, whilst also implementing AI to be able to effectively automate specific processes. Now with this case, we've gone with analyzing the day docket to be able to extract information to create an invoice. So essentially the trigger just means when this happens, then the workflow will start. So when something gets dropped into this Google Drive node, then it'll start the workflow. So it'll download the file, and then we've got our AI node here. So I'm using Claude, which is another example of ChatGPT. Now they do have different purposes, and typically Claude or Gemini are known to be a lot better with analyzing documents. So I've gone with Claude for this example. So essentially it goes through a series of checks to make sure that it has all of the required data to make sure that we can go and create this invoice. So the first one is checking if it's got critical data. So if it's got the job number, the docket date, the unit number of the crane, and then we've got the confidence check. So as I was saying a bit earlier, we've actually set up our large language models, which is Claude in this example, to actually give us a confidence score after analyzing the document. So this way, if the sheets are overwritten and they're probably not as neat, then the AI will let us know if it is confident that they've given us the correct answers. So if they give us a confidence score that is less than 0.75 in this case, then it'll flag it and it'll send us an email to say, look, we've tried to analyze this docket, but we're not confident that we've given you the correct answers. So I'd like you to manually review this one. And so by doing this, yes, we are adding that manual layer. However, we can't be relying on AI to do everything. And if there are issues that AI can't solve, then we need to make sure there's a human in the loop to be able to sort that issue out. So we've also got the no critical issues node as well. So this one will just make sure that there's no issues with what they've created. So the AI will also let us know if it's got any critical issues to do with what they've extracted, but typically there shouldn't really be any critical issues if they filled out the docket correctly. And so this one is applying custom logic. So it's another AI step where we get the AI to include what we call custom logic, or almost like common sense for humans. So things like if lunch is ticked, then it means that you take 30 minutes off, because for this crane company, they don't charge for the time that they have lunch. So if they work 8 hours in the day, but they've ticked yes for lunch, then they only charge the client 7.5 hours if they're having, say, a 30-minute lunch break. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense. But yeah, it's all about just applying that custom logic so that the AI clearly understands what we need to get out of this and what each of those elements within the day docket actually means. And then this is where the main work happens. So this is where we go and get all of our rates for all the different types of cases or things that we may have to charge the client for. And so what I've used here is what they call an HTTP request. So when you go and call information from another platform to bring it into this workflow. And so the platform I've called it from is a platform called Airtable. Now this allows you to go and extract information from databases a lot more efficiently than other platforms. And so this is how I've set it up. So I've got our crane rates, our transport rates, your dry hire equipment. So in this case, they don't actually have a mobile crane that is dry hire, meaning that you can hire it to someone else without giving them a driver or a dogman. And so in this case, they've got a 3-ton or 2-ton Maeda, and they're allowed to be sent out as a dry hire. But then you've also got things like brick cage, man box, concrete kibble, all those sorts of things. You've got counterweight rates, traffic control rates, dogman rules. So if the crane capacity is any of these, then that must include a certain amount of dogman. And so these ones here obviously don't need one, but then as you get up to the 80, 100 and 130 ton cranes, then you need to include a dogman. We've also got public holidays, and that's it. And so all of this information then gets sent into this workflow, so then we can go and calculate these invoice amounts. So it'll get all the information from the docket that's scanned by the AI, and then it'll cross-check it with all these rates, and then basically create the invoice. And so it goes through a few more nodes, and then it gets sent through via an email, and I'll show you exactly what that email looks like. All right, so an invoice that looks something like this. So your new invoice is ready for review. It'll give a bit of a job summary, and then also what the total including GST is. And then what we've also attached in the email is the invoice in a CSV file, which for a lot of clients who don't want to actually give you access to their accounting software, in this case was Xero, then you can go and create a CSV file, which they can then import straight into Xero. So it gives them that extra sense of security in knowing that they don't have to give away the personal information, but they can just go and take that file. So it is one less step within the automation, but it's definitely still valuable, and it 100% does the job as well. And so we've also attached the docket there. So you can see we've got the docket for the project as well. So everything that the admin or whoever goes and puts this information into Xero needs, so they can go and look at the docket, and they can even do their manual review if they wanted to. But that's all you guys sort of need to know. So it's a pretty straightforward one. The admin gets sent an email. They can do their manual checks if they want to before they upload it into Xero. And then that's the process automated.
So what did this actually save them? Before, it was 10 invoices a week, 30 minutes each. That's 5 hours a week and about 22 hours a month. After implementing this solution, the same 10 invoices now reviewed and approved in 5 minutes each. That's 50 minutes a week, just under 4 hours a month, which meant that the total time saved is 18 hours a month. Now, if you value that at $50 an hour, that's $900 a month. Over a year, that's about $10,800. But honestly, the real win is not just the hours. It's the fact that there's fewer mistakes, invoices are going out faster, and admin aren't spending their day chasing day dockets and piecing together job information.
Now, here's my honest take. So yes, this system works. It is running right now, but it's not the final answer. The real long-term solution isn't taking photos of all of these pieces of paper and uploading them. It's turning fully digital. I mean, it's 2026, that makes sense, right? And I've already seen this across some of the biggest crane companies in Australia. They're just using an app where their crews just log everything onto their phone. There's no paper, they don't need to take any photos, and there's way less mucking around. But here's the thing, and this is specifically targeting people that are looking to implement this into other businesses. You can't just show up into a business and tell them to go and change everything straight away. You need to get them to trust you first. And the fastest way to build trust is by fixing something that's already broken. So our goal with this one, we built it as a short-term fix. It shows our client, wow, this is actually achievable with AI. And so when we eventually roll out the digital app ourselves, the clients are gonna trust us because they know they've seen us in action.
That's the play. Fix something now, earn the trust, and then upgrade later. You can't skip that first step.
So that's the 5 pieces. Trigger and upload, AI reads the docket and flags anything it's not sure about, looks up the rates, does the math, and spits out a file for 0. Now, it's not perfect, but it works effectively, and it's saved our client about 18 hours a month.
If you're running a crane company, construction business, or any trades operation where invoicing is eating up admin time, feel free to reach out to us at TwinStream AI using one of the links in the description. We'll look at your process and establish exactly where AI will fit into your operations.
Now, if you're building this for yourself or you want to deliver it for some clients, I've actually left the full workflow template down in one of the links in the description where you can access it through our free community. And if you haven't already, just make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.